A couple videos ago, we talked about easy submissions from side control. We're going to continue with that same energy and cover guard. Now, guard can be a confusing position for a lot of newbies, especially when it comes to hitting submissions. One of the first submissions that we learn is the arm bar from guard, and yet that's still a very technical submission to hit. So we're going to make it easy. We're going to dumb it down a little bit, and we're going to keep it super effective. So if this sounds like it's right for you, you're in the right place. Let's jump in. This first one's called the slot machine, and I really like this off of failed triangle attempts. Now, we're not going to cover the triangle today. That tends to be pretty confusing for most newbies. So we're going to go ahead and skip right to the slot machine. Now, if you end up really liking this one, you can go for it right out of the gate. Personally, you guys know me. I've been doing this for a minute, 9 years, brown belt. I like to use it as a contingency plan off a failed triangle. So let's jump into it. So as you can see in this example, I like to punch my opponent's hand to their stomach. This makes for a very easy triangle setup, but every now and then they'll see it coming and they try to raise their hand up, as you can see here, in an attempt to keep their arm from being trapped outside with their other arm trapped inside. Now, in doing so, they're actually giving you the setup for the slot machine. So as you can see, my right leg is draped over the top of her shoulder and my other leg is pressed up into her other armpit. And as you can see here, my feet are connected behind her head. Now, because she raised her arm as I was going for the triangle, she gives me an opportunity where I can jam her elbow into the crook of my hip. Once I have that elbow smashed into my hip, this creates a leverage point that's very, very powerful for me. So all I'm doing is I'm bridging my hips up, but also to the left. I'm almost corkscrewing or curving my hips up and to the left while I get a slot machine grip on her hand. And all that means is that I've got her knuckles facing towards me. My hand reaches across her palm and I wrap around the hand meat just below her pinky. And in doing so, I'm pulling her hand laterally to the right as I angle and push my hips up and to the left. This creates a very tight shoulder lock, and if you full send this thing, you will cause immense damage. So be good to each other when you're trying this. You will notice that women tend to have a little more range of motion when it comes to finishing this than men do. Men have a much more abrupt stopping point, so keep that in mind, but also be aware of it with women because you may feel like it's not working on her when in actuality, you just need to send it a little bit further, all while being careful. This is a fun one to hit, especially on guys who are really strong, because this isn't a range or a plane of movement that most people will train themselves in. This is more like rotator cuff strength. And even then, your rotator cuff versus your hips, that's an unfair fight. The hips are always going to win. So think about it like a big, strong guy takes you down, you end up in guard, you throw up a triangle, doesn't work, he raises his arm, you lock up the slot machine and go ahead and have fun because it's gonna work. If you're not trying it, highly recommend you start repping this one. Now this one is a very basic shoulder lock. It's very easy to do, just like the last one. It's not highly technical and it doesn't require a ton of setup, but it does require a little bit. So as you can see in the example, I get a cross grip. So my left hand reaches across my chest and grabs onto her left wrist. And I keep that hand near my chest. My other hand grabs the back of her elbow. And now that I have a 2-on-1, I'm forcing her arm or her elbow back into the crook of my hip. You're gonna see that this is a reoccurring theme here, right? Just like the last one. We're isolating the arm. We're isolating the elbow so that we can focus on the shoulder. Now, once I have that in place, I'm also bringing my right thigh towards me, almost creating a backstop on her arm so she can't pull her elbow away at all. There's really nowhere she can pull her arm once I have that 2-on-1 grip with my hands and that backstop with my thigh right behind her tricep. Now that everything's locked in place, I'm doing a side crunch with my right oblique. Think about it like this. You've screwed her elbow to the ground so her elbow can't move. I want you to think about her forearm like the arms on a clock. Her elbow is the center of the clock and her wrist or her hand is the tip of the arm that moves. So the elbow stays put while the hand rotates. So all I'm doing is side crunching, which rotates her hand to the outside, which creates a ton of pressure on the shoulder very quickly. So again, be careful with this one. Obviously, self-defense or competition mode, full send, but when you're training with your buddies, be careful, ease into it, establish where that breaking point is and stop right there. But also for you guys who are being the partner, only tap if you feel it. You're not doing them any favors if you're tapping preemptively. Only tap once you start to feel that pain build up. You guys will notice I do like to show some mean and aggressive, also simple submissions, but I also like to focus on safety above all. So keep in mind, your training partners are your teammates. You guys aren't under the same roof and on the same mats to destroy each other. You're there to help each other get better. You save that other stuff for the competitions. So if you aren't trying this one yet, it's obviously very simple, very non-technical. Start repping it because it comes on quick, it's easy to do, and it's fun. Give it a shot. Last but certainly not least, and possibly the meanest of the three, the double armbar. Now, an armbar from guard is technical. We've already covered this. There's a lot of moving pieces. You have to have your angles right. There's a lot of setup to get to the end point. But the double armbar is the exact opposite. You have very little setup. You have very little movement. It's almost 2 steps and you're into submission territory. So let's check it out. One thing you're really gonna wanna focus on here is keeping the arms extended and keeping the wrists together. Keeping the arms pulled up into the chest and keeping the wrists together also helps keep the thumbs pointed to the sky. Remember that the armbar doesn't work because the thumbs are pointed to the sky. The armbar works because your thumbs are pointed in the same direction as your hips. This is a principle I want you to focus on, whether you're hitting inverted arm bars, crunch arm bars, whatever it may be. As long as their thumbs are pointed in the same direction as your hips, you have breaking potential there. Oftentimes we learn that the thumbs need to be pointed to the sky, and that creates a training scar because that's only for arm bars from side control when you're on your back. So keep that in the back of your mind as you progress through your jiu-jitsu journey. Now that I have those arms extended, wrists together, thumbs pointed up, all I'm simply doing is jumping my hips up into the air and wrapping both my legs over her shoulders and connecting my feet behind her head. Once I have this, I keep a nice tight grip. I like a double paddle grip or a double C-clamp grip, whatever works best for you, holding those wrists tight into your shoulder so that when I bridge up, it begins to lock both arms out at once, and it's so brutal. Now, every now and then you may have a savvy opponent who can wiggle an arm free of the breaking position, but you have 2 arms in there. So if you can close that guard over their shoulders and behind their head, all you have to do is hip up and you've got the tap. It's silly how simple it is, and it's also silly how effective it is and how fast it comes on. So again, be careful with each other, but this is a fun one. It's a good one for learning the breaking potential of the armbar. You learn a little bit of the armbar in doing the double armbar. So I'd almost argue that you could learn the double armbar first. If you don't have the regular armbar down, that's okay. I was actually hitting the double armbar before I was ever hitting standard armbars, just because it's easier to do, in my opinion. So guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this. Obviously, some of you have been training for a while. If you have other submissions that are really easy, non-technical to hit from the guard, drop them in the comments. I may do a video on your recommendation, your suggestions, but we're all here to learn, including myself. My way is not the only way. It's just what's worked for me in the 9 years I've been training jiu-jitsu. So with that, I appreciate you guys. You know how we like to end them, sometimes backwards, always forwards. I'll see you in the next one.